RingGangRadio.com. Take over. Last mission. Final boss mode.
Yeah, what's good, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Real Talk, where, as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. I'm your host for this afternoon, Pat Scorpion, the New England representative, and as always, I got my man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Yeah, what's good, everyone? Welcome to another episode.
Yo, what it do? It's LB, Lauderdale Boss, aka Shuttleworth the God, the GOAT artist, Soul Wars creator, RingGangRadio.com in the building.
Yes, sir. Ringing in the house forever and always. And as always, I got my other man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Hey, yo, what up? You already know who this is. Your boy King P, Bodega Boxing in the building. Ring Gang Radio forever. Let's get it.
Hey, Bodega P, straight from the sewer. Actually taking a break from the sewer. He's above ground with us, and he's it's an honor because he be protecting our streets from all this crime that we're having, especially in the in the streets of New York. And as always, man, we salute you for your service. So we're trying something a little different. We're actually going live. It's the first one we're doing intentionally because I think I did it unintentionally one time, and I forgot to switch the settings, but it's all good. So pretty much our podcast for today is just it's going to be a preview card. Whereas we have 3 cards on Halloween, which is crazy. Like, who knew Halloween would be so damn busy, for boxing. So that's what's up though, because boxing fans, we need it because we went like 4 months without having boxing really. We had to go back to the archives and shit. So, hey, more power. So the first card, and possibly the most known card, the one that has the biggest buzz, is the pay-per-view from PBC. With the main event of Gervonta Tank Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz. Out of all the fights that's happening, this fight has buzz, has everything, literally. Everything about this fight is like, Showtime gave it all access training. Floyd is actually promoting this shit. Tank is actually speaking, you know what I'm saying, and like speaking clearly. Like it's a big fight, So LB, bruh, like tell me, like regardless of this main event, what do you think about this main event?
I think it's a solid main event. I always like the fight. I know you speak too highly of it, but me, I always thought it was a good fight. It kind of felt like Santa Cruz was preserved for Tank to take that next step to superstardom. So he's a respected Mexican-American fighter with a fan base, who's had a respectable career, not the best of careers, but because I know we always go on about how Santa Cruz has so many meaningless fights.
Yeah, I mean, and if you ever heard me talk about Leo Santa Cruz, I was a fan in the beginning, like. When dude was a bantam, like dude was a beast at bantamweight. Like he was a legit beast, but when he left bantamweight to go up, it just seemed like he was making a whole lot of decisions. Basically he was stuck in perpetual career mode. Like, whereas like he obviously Al Heyman was paying him a whole bunch of money. Yeah, and then he had these fights that were either not very entertaining or one-sided as anything, with the exceptions being like the Frampton fights. The Frampton fights. Yeah. The Frampton fight he wasn't supposed to lose, but he did, and then he was able to get himself back. He get his get back. But then there were fights that he could have had, like fights against Rigo. Like Rigo was probably one of the most visible ducks you'll ever. It was a duck. There's no question about that. And that was at 122 when Rigo was the ruler of that division. And then you have 126 where everyone was screaming for a unification fight with Gary Russell. And that fight never happened. And this fight could have happened in the last, 4 or 5 years per se. It was still a fight that you could sell. You could sell it on its own, or it could have been a fire co-main on a bigger fight. But it never happened.
That's a main event. That ain't no co-main. That's a main event.
Well, I'm saying though, like it could sweeten the pot of a bigger fight than that. But I'm saying like it's either one or the other. But yeah, it could stand alone.
Yeah, that bigger fight would have to be like Joshua Wilder type.
Yeah, like nah, like it had to be a co-main of a super fight. Yeah, but
yeah.
Like I mean, like if it happened to any of the Wilder Fury cards, that shit would have been perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Oh hell yeah.
You know, but yeah, no, LC's at the time where I mean, clearly, like I mean, if you watch the All Access, like I mean, dude is living comfortably. You know, he lives in a big house.
I'll say that like, All Access episodes have been well done.
Very.
Like, I've enjoyed both episodes of the Showtime All Access. Like, it's like they were tailor made in a way where it kind of showcases both of their personalities, Santa Cruz and Tank, and it makes him look kind of favorable. Like Tank ain't the most articulate dude, but
nah,
the way his thoughts come across and the way his words they come in, it makes it sound like an album interlude or some shit.
Yeah, and Christian Floyd. I mean, Floyd is out here, you know, like a new age Don King. Like I mean, surprisingly, he was actually pretty good. You know, it's like
Floyd part is cool. Like he's playing like the puffy, you know, hype man type shit, and yeah, it's cool. But Tank, like it's about Tank, and
yeah,
to see him able to express his thoughts, and they doing it in a way where he sounds deep or personal, and you're like, okay, this is cool. And the training was, you know, it had the right amount of training footage as well.
Yeah, and that's the biggest part too, because it's like, I mean, most people are like, I mean, yeah, it's good to show the money part, but you gotta show what did they do to actually get to that part.
Yeah,
you know?
So that was good. Santa Cruz and how he acted with his people and his training and him moving around, so it was balanced. So yeah, they did that right. Like I think they, like honestly, I could see this fight getting like maybe 400 buys, like 350, 400 buys, yo.
Yeah, and also just mention too, like, you know, they showed the montage with, you know, Leo Santa Cruz's father. Like that dude is tough. Like that dude has like cancer, all like COVID complications, whatever, and dude still keeps on kicking, bro. Like I don't understand how he does it though, but I mean, he's a strong dude, incredibly strong.
Yep.
You know, so yeah. I mean, it's good because, like I said, because I mean, to sell a fight like this, like you want All Access like that, and it definitely hit all the marks. You know, I mean, obviously, I mean, it's not like, excuse me, not like HBO's what they used to do behind the scenes, but it's close. It's very close.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, it definitely builds the hype of the fight. But as you referenced before, like the fight itself, I mean, it's cool. You know, I have no problem with it. I just don't think it's a pay-per-view quality fight as itself now. You know,
should I unleash the smoke now or should I unleash the smoke later?
Unleash the smoke now, bruh.
Man, fuck this fight. Honestly, like on some real shit, fuck this fight. Honestly, you just basically just put two big names together against each other from two different weight divisions and put it in a pay-per-view fight when this literally this is going to be a glorified fucking beatdown. Like, I'm sorry, and I really believe that. I'm just like, I'm not excited for this at all.
Hold on, so is this Hopkins Winky, right? I mean, you said you picked two names from two different divisions and put them on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, but nah, this is like you both, like, not even Tank, but even Leo Santa Cruz had other options. You know, there were better options, which what you mentioned that more realistic that are never going to happen. This is a cash out fight for Santa Cruz. Like
I told you that he was groomed for this fight, man.
Yeah, the Santa Cruz.
That's why I don't think they had a third fight with Frampton. It's like he got the get back, he ran it back with Morez, and he's in a safe spot where his career is comfortable.
He's gonna take the pay day and the ass whooping that comes along with it, and we're not going to see any meaningful fights from. I really believe this is kind of a cash out fight.
But this
like,
is
it's just like
he also wins
day.
though.
Like you always.
Like Santa Cruz ain't some crazy underdog. Like he has a chance in this fight. Like if he wins, it's a big win for him too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if he wins, I don't see it happening at all, honestly. Unless.
I mean, damn, there's been way more bigger one-sided fights than this. Like,
yeah,
that's
what I think of LSC, because LSC, like, I mean, dude had like some different fights that he's supposed to have that he never had, you know, for whatever reason. So I mean, if LSC wants to have like really any type of legacy per se, then like, I mean, he beats Tank. You know, like you have to justify something in his career. You know, because of all the years that he hasn't had, he let all the significant fights he could have had pass him by for whatever reason.
And then what does this do for Tank moving forward, provided he wins? Absolutely nothing. So it's just like...
Nah, it does something. If he bodies Santa Cruz, it definitely does. So that's a good scalp. Like
a blown up bantamweight. You see the scalp of a blown up bantamweight. It's like, really? Is that really what we want from Tank at this point in his career?
Dude, it's about building a fan base and getting them in there on pay-per-view, headlining his own pay-per-view against an exciting known fighter that's you know, is talented and you know, a decent test. Like they're moving Tank real calculative, bro. Like
yeah, they have to, because like I said, I mean, that's why pretty much like you can see Floyd's been on his ass to make sure he's actually training right, so there are no uh-ohs like in the Gamboa fighter.
I mean, the one I will give Tank props though, because he looks like he's in shape and has been disciplined and taking it seriously. So I will give him his props for that. At least he's coming up in shape. Hopefully this will be a reoccurring theme, which is what's supposed to be done, but. Yeah, it is what it is. But
well, yeah, he has to, because this fight now is for 2 belts, and this is probably one of the few times that I'd be like, these are probably one of the most.
And this I was just gonna say this is another thing I don't like, for 2 belts in divisions that these guys. That the other one can't make and won't make. It's garbage. Like really, that's why the putting 2 belts from 2 divisions on the line has never made any sense to me.
I mean, it's happened before, but in this particular case, it's the regular belt at 135, which is now we also Teofimo will win that one, and then also the dubious 130 belt, which is not regular, but I mean the WBA 130 belt. I mean, that's not the real champion, but like that's a whole different set of fuckery that I don't really want to get into. So it's just like 2 belts, and neither of them, and whoever wins doesn't really prove like you're the top dog in either division. Because one person
think the fight's not for belts, man. It is. It's more for clout. Like
it is. You know, I mean, this is probably one of the ones where having the belts on really doesn't make any sense. You know.
Yeah, because that's the thing. It's not a belt type of fight. It's not. It's a leveling up type of fight.
Yeah, because I mean, and I think partially because you have Teofimo Lopez, knocking off someone who's probably pound for pound fighter, and and he's visibly shaming everyone, Teofimo Lopez included. And he called out Tank on shaming him about facing like Santa Cruz and Gamboa and stuff.
I was fucking with it because I 100% agree with Lopez there. Like this is the problem.
That's the thing, like. We've gotten at Santa Cruz about having these damn weak ass meaningless fights for his whole career, but now the Tank fight for him, that's a good fight. Like
it is.
If he wins, he could say he Hall of Fame if he wins.
I mean, isn't this the same thing that we said when it came to Spence versus Mikey Garcia? Like. It just.
I mean, I wasn't fucking with that fight.
It's a name, like it's a pound for pound level name. Santa Cruz ain't pound for pound, but it's a respected championship name, dude. It's a better name than Terrence Crawford got.
I mean, that's not saying much.
But I'm saying, like, the way I gotta argue this shit, like, bruh, like.
Yeah, like pretty much. I mean, I mean, like Tank needs a win over LSC, and especially if he bodies him, keeps him in line with his generation of fighters, like other success, like Teofimo Lopez, and especially especially like give him
huge boost, bro.
I understand the building up the clout part. I just question if this is gonna really be a move that moves the dominoes forward.
It will. He has to win though. It will.
Yeah, like it can't be like a struggle. It can't be like Gamboa. Like
remember, Santa Cruz never been bodied before. Like we seen him lose, but then we seen him get that back. Like, but we ain't seen him legit bodied, like knocked out, hurt. You know what I'm saying? If Tank happens to do that, and he does it on some, he's in shape, he looks good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know how that doesn't help his career.
It does. Like I said, this is Tank. It's a significant fight for Tank going forward. Like it's not. I mean, Tank is not at the point where he's not like an LSC point where he's still young enough where a fight like that would mean something. It's not like he's not late.
The fight means something for both, but it does more for Tank career. But it redeems Santa Cruz career too.
Yeah.
I feel like
I think it's a good fight.
I feel like it does more for Santa Cruz if he wins, but I don't think he will win. So it's just like, if Tank beats LSC, I'm just gonna be like, he was supposed to. Like you body.
It's one of those fights. It's how he does it. If he has a damn 12 round, 115, 113 type of fight, it's kind of like, well, Tank maybe ain't as good as we thought he was, or Santa Cruz really fought over his head.
Well, I mean, it's a catch-22, double-edged sword.
But the thing is, if Tank dominates or has a 117, 111 type of fight and looks good and shows flashes of brilliance, then shit.
Mm-hmm.
What's the problem? Like, it's either that or he has to KO Santa Cruz, or one or the other.
Right. It's
definitely a lot of niggas that respect the fucking the 12 blank.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
So you can't complain if y'all get that.
Yeah, I mean, to blank LSC 12-0. I mean, it would be cool, but like
I would give him props if he blanked him, because LSC's not a blank a fighter you blank.
Yeah, but I would give him more props for the KO.
Of course you would.
Harder to do.
Yeah, and like I said, LC's never been KO'd before, so Tank. I mean, and plus too, like I said, they're trying to push Tank as D-Star. I mean, Floyd. I mean, that's Floyd's project, so Floyd is gonna make sure that he's gonna do everything in his power to actually to get that done. And and you like I said, a KO is easier to push market than a decision. I mean, it's unfortunate facts, but that's the case. And Tank already has the ear of the casual. Not a full crossover yet, but he has the Broner crowd and everything.
He has all the little shade room, baller alert.
Yeah.
Meme crowd. Yeah, you know what I mean? So
yeah. So yeah, everything is set up for Tank to on his pay-per-view and to ascend to the next level. So regardless, LB, I'll ask you first. Like, how do you actually see this fight going?
You talking? Hold on, you asked me?
Yeah.
Shit, I feel like we're gonna get a good action-packed fight. Like, maybe a poor man's Oscar Shane. Nah, I'm just fucking with you. Like, I ain't gonna go that far, but I think we'll get a decent fight. I think it'll be like aggressive, high-level boxing until somebody just decides to take over. Like, I think there's gonna be a skill, will type of fight. I'm looking at it like Tank's power is gonna take over at some point.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, LSD has the volume punching, but his volume punching has gotten less effective as he's gone up. Like at bantamweight, dude was bodying people with his volume.
And that's what I'm saying. That he has the volume, but if he was Tank's size, that volume would create a problem. But he's a blown up bantamweight. Tank's not gonna. I don't see Tank respecting his power.
Yeah, I mean,
he got the boxing skills though, and he got the volume.
Fuck all that. I think Tank bodies him 8th round knockout.
I feel you. So I was gonna say 7.
no, that's the God's number, though. I can feel that. I personally, I mean, I was pretty much looking. I mean, I was giving LC the benefit of the doubt that he would hang tough, but he would probably get he would get knocked out like maybe around 10, like the 10th round or so. You know what I mean? He is a tough guy. I think he's been down before, but he hasn't been down in a while.
When did he go down? I'm trying to remember when he got dropped.
I think it was when he was a bantamweight. I think it was a while ago. It was a long time ago. But yeah, the reason why is like I said, because I mean, although LC's volume is good, I mean, I don't think his power has gone up to the point where I think Tank won't try to walk right through it and try to body him. And Tank is on top of the power. He's also explosive too, very explosive.
Yeah. But if Leo Santa Cruz uses that to his advantage and walk him into something, he definitely has enough pop to hurt Gervonta Davis. So, Tank just can't fight stupid and shit.
Yeah, LC has to. I think LC, has to temper his volume, like how he did in the second Frampton fight. Basically he used his jab more. It's actually to set up his combinations. Where it wasn't the first fight, that wasn't the case. He's gonna have to do something like that against Tank, because I think he does have the advantage in terms of like the physical dimensions outside of maybe size or whatever. So he's gonna have to lean on that. I mean, and of course, doing that, it could lead to a fight that might not be pleasing to the eye. But I somehow I don't think Tank will struggle like that to get inside. I just don't see it.
Me neither.
I think once he start going to the body and shooting shots up under, I think it's gonna get Leo Santa Cruz attention, and he might freeze up when they start trading. But if they start trading, that's what Leo Santa Cruz is good at. So I think we're gonna really get a good fight out of this shit.
Yeah, no, I do too. So I think we're all in agreement that we all think the knockout is going to occur, but it's going to be Tank knocking out LSC at some point in the fight, probably the latter half of the fight.
I guess he take getting dropped too.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, because like I said, Tank does like to bum rush. He does bulldoze in,
Well, I think LSC's. I think Tank is definitely gonna find a home for those uppercuts, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's uppercut season. Like, I mean, I think now the uppercut is in its new renaissance. So yeah,
I could see him hurt. I could see him hurting LSC with an uppercut to the body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so it's gonna be interesting to see how he does it.
Yeah, it will definitely be a good fight. Now, as a fight of the year, I mean, if it's a fight of the year type of fight, that means either both men have just were just pretty much landing all types of shit on each other and taking it, or someone one or the other, like something went horribly wrong. If a fight of the year, but I mean, on paper, I mean, there's definitely potential for it. So yeah,
I mean, they just operate on their highest level, and it just makes for a good style clash. I mean, you got like an athletic boxer brawler versus a boxer punter, more boxer now, or a boxer volume boxer.
Mm-hmm.
That could be something.
Yeah, no, it definitely could be. And like I said, I mean, I just wish it was on regular Showtime, because as much. I mean, it's a good fight, but it's just like I don't think it's pay-per-view worthy yet.
Hell no,
nah.
Yeah. And just to briefly touch upon its under.
I think if they would have had a real good co-main event, then I think you could have made this more pay-per-view worthy.
Yeah,
they're trying to bank it on Tank's name. Like, if this is to see if Tank is ready. Honestly, like, is he a star, or do we have to do some more promoting with this dude? Like,
or give him some more fights that will show off show off some sort of highlight. So I mean, because I know, we have arguments with that.
He got enough highlights. It's like he has to start fighting real opponents, and like Leo Santa Cruz is a safe but real opponent.
Right.
I'm not saying he's the, because you know how I always say there's a difference between a name and like dangerous, or who's a threat and who's a name.
Right. No.
Santa Cruz is a name. He's higher on the name side, and he's lower on the threat side, but he's still a threat though.
Very much so.
So so that's how they play in the game. So I see it, but they needed a little more, for this pay-per-view. Like,
right,
all
yeah,
of them. I've spent the same way. Like,
yeah, like the 3 fights on the pay-per-view. I mean, we got Diego Magdaleno versus Isaac Cruz. It's a lightweight eliminator. It's a decent fight. And then you got the return of Regis Prograis. Last time we saw him, he was in the fight of the year against Josh Taylor. He's fighting Juan Heraldez. Just a random 140 fight. And then the co-main is Mario Barrios, who is a good young fighter and is exciting, but the person he's fighting is not like that. He's fighting Ryan Cowboy Carl, which I think is probably a huge mismatch on paper. So it's just for that is worth $75. Like I myself is just like.
Well, it sets it up for an entertaining night. Look, you're gonna have probably gonna get a KO for that first fight.
Mm.
The Prograis is gonna probably give you a good fight and a possible stoppage.
I mean, this would have been a good Showtime card for me, but but a pay-per-view card, it's not pay-per-view. It's not.
The Magdaleno fight will be like a decent action distance fight,
right? So like I said, this would be one of the ones where I wish the movie theaters were open. So like I would go there and I would pay my $15 or whatever, and I go chill in the theater and watch this and be good, But $75 doesn't hurt my pockets or anything like that. But it's just like it's principles. There's principalities, and you know what I'm saying. So yeah, it should either way. It should be a good night. Regardless of the cost, it should be a good night of fighting. Like I said, and then we'll see if a star is born. Pretty much.
This is another one. If they was gonna do pay-per-view, it should have just been $50, $40 type of shit.
Yeah, exactly. No, definitely.
Because they're trying to force everybody into being these financial superstars, and it's like the money ain't truly there for that shit. So they got to do pay-per-view for these niggas, and we about to really see like who's really a star or not, because like the pay-per-view model is like that shit's dated, man. Like,
yeah, right now there's very few fighters that you can say that are pay-per-view. Something like especially if you watch them as they come out like a mini.
Who wants to be called that shit? I'd rather be the most known. Like right now, Teofimo Lopez got the smoke. He got the buzz.
You got the juice.
You got the juice. He got it all now. He knocked down a pound for pound king. He dethroned them, and he did it on ESPN in front of millions of people. Like,
word.
No pay-per-view. That's how you want to do it. Like,
absolutely. But hey, if they're gonna put a paywall behind this, so obviously, PBC knows that this could easily backfire against them, in many different ways. But hey, like I said, but we're not financial people. We don't worry about that. We just want to make sure that the quality of the card at least.
I just hope the fights are good. The fights come out good, and hey, that's all you can really ask for.
Exactly. And then just to jump on to the next card, like.